Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Side Splitters. My name is Lyle,
And I'm Andy.
and our goal tonight is to leave you in stitches. But in order to get there, boy, do I have some things to say
Do you now?
this week. I've been talking to Andy a little bit about it, folks, and he has no idea what is in store for him tonight with some of the things that I have to say. Are you excited, Andy?
I am because I'm actually curious. I really want them to be sweet nothings in my ear. So if you could just like talk to me like one of your French girls, that would just be fantastic.
We're just gonna talk like normal, and you can imagine it as a French girl.
All right, if I have to use the power of imagination, God, in this day and age, the hell is this? The medieval times?
I I I'll preface it by saying this. Some of you guys might have listened to a previous podcast that I was on. I won't get into specifics, but if you did listen to it, you know what I'm talking about. And on that podcast, I kind of did this thing where I let everyone know that I was doing this diet. I'm a bigger guy, much bigger.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, continue.
And I was doing this diet where I kind of cut out all sugar and carbs and everything, and I was kind of giving everyone a weekly update on it every week on the podcast, which was really cool because some of you guys like reached out and like, oh man, it's good to hear that you cut this many pounds or whatever, you know, and that was kind of cool, and I appreciated the support and everything. But
Have fun eating your rocks.
right, and I do have fun eating my rocks. For anyone that's interested, I am up to 32 pounds now that I lost overall, which is awesome. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. This has nothing to do with the diet. What this has to do with is the support from the podcast, and I want to throw this out there because if anyone calls me out on it, or not calls me out, that's not the right word. If anyone notices what I'm about to say is not true anymore, they can totally call me out on it, and I can feel like a complete dick. And more importantly, I'll have something to be obligated to continue my goal of what I am doing. What I have done is I have given up cigarettes permanently.
No,
Cold turkey, my man.
I do not buy that for a second.
I quit smoking, dude. I haven't smoked a cigarette since Sunday night. It is now Wednesday night.
So, all right, a couple questions spring to mind. Because I do not know how to take in this information. First of all, how many people have you murdered?
I have not murdered anyone. Let me just throw a little briefing out there. Me and Andy have been good friends for quite some time now.
You could say that. I mean, lovers have like completely formed and destroyed a relationship in the amount of time that we've been talking about stupid shit.
Fair, yes, that is completely accurate. It's been over 5 years, possibly closer to 10 at this point. Uh, yeah. So since Andy has known me, I think I have always smoked cigarettes around you.
You've always been a smoker.
Right. Okay. So this.
Like I thought to myself, does that walking mattress have any flaws? Oh, and he's a smoker too. He is the coolest camel.
Ah, beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, yeah. So I quit smoking, and I see how this might be as a surprise to you, but I just got up. Here's how it went down. Sunday night, I thought nothing of it, right? I went to bed, didn't really think anything of it, you know, smoked a cigarette before I went to bed, curled up in the bed, went to sleep, woke up the next morning, and it was just kind of like, you know, whatever, la da 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 da. Went through my morning, Monday routine, made coffee, brushed my teeth, use the bathroom, get ready for work, blah, blah, blah. And when I went to go reach for my stuff as I'm heading out the door, usually my routine was get my lighter, get my cigarettes, get my keys, get my coffee, get my lunch out the door. And of course my cell phone. Well,
Of course.
I go to do all that, but I'm noticing my cigarettes are nowhere around. I'm like, oh shit, I left them in the bedroom. So I go back into the bedroom and I'm looking down at my cigarettes right next to my lighter, and I'm like, you know what? What would happen if I left them here? I was just tempting fate that day. I was like,
Yeah, tempting fate on a whim.
yeah, just what the hell? What would happen? Would I go crazy? So I left them there. And and here's the kicker, folks, because I know a lot of you are thinking, like, how horrible is your job that you can't just leave it and go buy a pack of cigarettes? I had no money.
I'll
I
do it.
only had enough money to pay for either lunch or a pack of cigarettes. And as I previously mentioned, I am very large. Cigarettes don't win this battle.
Although now that gives the Philip Morris Company like, insider knowledge that if they want to sell cigarettes again, they just need to make them edible. Like, if they made edible cigarettes, America is fucked.
100%. Or at least
Forget about France. They would turn that shit into like an art form, but like we would just be dead.
or at least if they made them like bacon flavored or cheeseburger flavored or something.
Oh my god. No. How I would start smoking if they were bacon flavored.
Oh, that's funny. But just to forewarn everyone, and I guess it's kind of hard to figure out the difference here, but I will say this much. One thing that has been helping me get through, um, I have to fiddle with stuff now. Like, if I'm sitting there and I'm doing nothing, I just kind of like pick stuff up and I just like, running through my fingers and everything and just kind of, like the professional poker players do with a poker chip. They just kind of
Yeah.
like run
I
through it.
always wanted to figure out how to do that.
Well, I've always been able to do it pretty good with a lighter. So I do that now. I'll pick a lighter up and just start like running it through my fingers, which, obviously I'm getting kind of good at it. But so what I'm getting at here is if for some reason you hear, when you guys hear that, there's a good chance it's just me fiddling with it and not actually lighting a cigarette. Trust me, when I say I'm done, I'm done. Like, I don't know what it is. I've heard people talk about quitting smoking before, and some people say, oh, I can't do it without the gum, I can't do it without the patch. I went completely cold turkey, and I've talked to people that done it cold turkey before, and they said, you know what? One day you just kind of wake up and a switch goes off in your head that says, I don't want to smoke cigarettes anymore. And I think that's kind of what happened on Monday, because there's never been this urge to just, I'm going to test the water today. Let me just see what happens if I don't bring these cigarettes in to work. I've never done that before. It was crazy. It was out of nowhere, and I don't even think my brain was working fast enough to figure out what the rest of me was doing that day. And because I'm pretty sure my brain would have just been like, "What the hell are you thinking? Pick those damn things up, fat man! Like you're bringing them with you."
No, I think it pretty much it had one of those moments where it was like, what are you doing? You need cigarettes, and then it's like, it checks with the other part of the brain that's just like, wait, how much money do we have? Uh, food or cigarettes? And the brain is like, fuck.
Well, no, see, I had cigarettes already. That's my point. I could have I had enough for like that day and possibly the next day or two.
I
Uh,
don't know how long it takes you to smoke a pack.
I was on a pack a day.
A pack a day.
Yeah.
You went
I
from
went
going a pack a day. How many years have you been smoking?
close to 10.
All right, so close to 10 years,
That's
a
why
pack a day, because I assume that habit kind of stayed steady throughout the entire time. Um,
give or take.
and you just decide one day that, nah, not today. Not this time, cigarettes. Tobacco, fuck you.
Kind of, man. But that's kind of why I was like, how long did I know Andy for? Because I wasn't sure if I was smoking the entire time I knew you, or if it was something that I just picked up since I've known you, or what. Because I know the two of them kind of run close to each other. Um, but anyway, yeah. So I've been smoking close to 10 years, probably since about 2007, 2008. So maybe 8 or 9 years, I guess. That's how long I've been smoking. I was up to a pack a day habit. Yeah, just didn't want it anymore.
Do you remember your first cigarette?
Yes.
Okay, was it one of those things where you had to play hide and seek with somebody else's butthole, or is it something a little bit less intimate than that?
Uh,
Because
what?
I mean, I know you probably don't want to talk about it on the podcast, but like, you had a reputation that preceded you, sir.
Oh, not till episode 50, Andy. Um,
Right, okay, episode 50, but still, like that was how I imagined you having your first
no,
cigarette.
my
So,
very first cigarette, like my first cigarette that was, obviously a cigarette that wasn't the one that, broke me and said, "You're addicted now." This wasn't the case. This was my first cigarette at a party when I was a teenager, um, because I thought it was cool. It was actually a Salem Black Label. That's the brand of the cigarettes that I used to smoke way back in the day. And the reason I smoked them is because I was, like I said, at a party, and my buddy had them and everything. And This was kind of my first time being drunk around friends without parental supervision. And let me elaborate on that a little bit. uh, as I've said before, I lived with my aunt and uncle growing up, and New Year's would come around or whatever, and they'd be like, "Here, try this. It's called a mudslide. It's chocolatey and good, and blah blah blah." Definitely they didn't go, "Here, try this. It's called bourbon. Straight. Yeah, you see how terrible alcohol is? Never drink it." No, they were like, "Taste how good it can be." But either way, I drank it, and the little fat kid inside of me, and all around me as well,
Yeah, I'm about to say.
he loved it, and I was just like, man, that's pretty good. So obviously I had a little bit more than a sip. I had like half a glass of one, and that was enough to get me, loopy a little bit and kind of stumbling a little bit as a kid, which they thought was hysterical. Before everyone, has a big shit, keep in mind I was very, very much supervised by sober parents, or at least parental supervision. So there's no big deal here. It was not plastered and you know drunk with all the other drunk adults there. No, 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 no. This was, of course, with my aunt and uncle, however. Now, let's fast forward to this teenager party I went to.
Right.
And it was a party behind someone's house. They had this great big field or whatever. There was no adult supervision there. I don't know how they made the party manageable, and I also don't know how they got the amount of beer that they had, but they had plenty of beer there. And I remember my first beer was there, and it was a Miller Genuine Draft, MGD. I tasted it, and I'm like, well, that ain't bad. So I drank a couple, and next thing you know, I'm a little buzzed, feeling kind of loose and good about myself, and all of a sudden confident, which was weird back then. I was a very, very shut in, like didn't really like talking to people or anything like that. Which is, you know, flip the script years later. I can't, you can't get me to shut up now. But anyway, so
Yeah, I mean, you had to stop the carbs and the sugar to get out of your shell.
no,
No,
that was awful.
how that works?
No.
Fine, continue.
um,
They're not all gems.
No, clearly. So, yeah, so I had a couple beers in me, and my buddy walked by, and I seen him light up a cigarette, and for some reason, I looked over at him while he was lighting one up and taking one out of his pack, and his pack wasn't a flip top; it was a slide out, like it came out the side, like almost like one of those
Like
I
a
don't know.
matchbox?
Yes, like a matchbox. Thank you. Just like a matchbox. Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, that's neat." And I seen one of his cigarettes was green filtered instead of brown. All the other ones around it were brown filtered. The one was green filtered. And I was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's my lucky." I'm like, "What do you mean you're lucky?" He's like, "Well, these are Salem Black labels, and in every single pack they have one green filtered cigarette. You're not supposed to smoke that one to the very end. Why? It's good luck." Okay. I'm
Wow.
15,
Yeah.
16 years
No.
old. I'll believe anything.
Oh, young impressionable Lyle.
Yeah, so needless to say, I had my first Lucky filtered cigarette then and there, which he was actually a little reluctant to give to me because he was like, "I don't want you to start this disgusting habit." And I was like, "Come on." And he was like, "All right." So that's how that went down. And I was like, "Can I
Clearly had an iron will.
Yeah. He was like, "Can I have the green one?" He was like, "Look, if you were already a smoker, I'd say yeah, but you're not, and I'm not going to give you my lucky because that's a waste. Because it's not the last cigarette, and because you're not already a smoker, you're probably going to take 3 hits of that and be done. So who knows? Maybe down the road, but not today." I'm like, "All right, well, I didn't just take 3 hits and be done. I don't even think I was inhaling it at that point. I think I was just like puffing on it, thinking I was cool or whatever. I had
Right.
no idea what the hell I was doing. So there I am smoking my first cigarette, and it didn't really make me feel like anything. I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel good. I just was like, well, this is kind of cool. And I never really did it again for a little while. And then I started going to more and more parties, and I would found myself to be a social drinker and a social smoker because of that. Like every time I would drink, I would want a cigarette to go with it. So I found myself buying because the more I bum off people, the more people are just like, "Don't you ever have your own?" So I found myself buying packs of cigarettes, and they happened to be Salem Black labels because that was the only one I knew to smoke because I wanted that goddamn green cigarette for myself. Damn it! So I got it, and it wasn't at all magical like I thought it would be. It was just a different color filter. Like I was like, maybe it'll taste different. Nope. uh,
Nope.
yeah. So that was that. And like I said, I've gone through dry spells for a while, if you want to call them that. Like I was never really addicted back then. I would smoke here and there, like at parties and stuff. And then I ended up getting with a girl that thought smoking was disgusting, and it was my first serious relationship. Not going to go into name calling here, bitch. So it was my first serious relationship, and every time I would smoke, she would like be able to see it on my teeth or something. She was fucking weird. She'd be like, "Have you smoked today?" I'm like, "How do you know that?" "I could see it on your teeth." "Who are you?"
Yeah, like what?
I don't
Maybe
know.
she had like super binocular vision or
I
something.
have no idea, but that's what she used to say to me, and I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but damn it, she's right. No, you must be seeing something else. I didn't brush them today. That's what happened.
If you didn't smile so damn much, you wouldn't know that you smoked.
Evidently. I don't know what I was smiling about when I was with her, but anyway, so yeah, that was the first one. So like I kind of cut it down, and then eventually, we took one of those legendary. We'll wait for each other and just take a break. About 3 weeks later, she was pregnant, so that didn't work. Um,
Wow.
and I was still a virgin at that point, so it definitely wasn't mine. Uh, so we move forward. Eventually, I get into my next serious relationship. She was also not a fan of smoking, also not a fan of curse words. And any friends of mine that listen to this are going to be like, I remember that one. This is prior to Andy being around, so he wouldn't remember this one quite as well. But
Yeah, no, I would definitely remember somebody that was offended by something as casual as fuck.
the funny thing is that she wasn't exactly offended by it. She just simply didn't want it herself, and me being the white knight that I was just like, well, then that means no one can curse around you, and I just made it that way, and I was stupid. It was me more than it was
Yeah,
her.
we
But
would not have seen eye to eye on that.
no, no. As a matter of fact, a lot of friends that I had did it. Because as you can imagine, the friends that I have now were the same friends I had back then.
Yeah, I
So
couldn't imagine any one of them going, no, that's fine. I'll say, frig and shoot and darn.
yeah, it was fun. But I think, and you know what? I kind of knew that they weren't going to give it up. I think it was just for me. If I looked like I was at least trying to get a little bit of brownie points, didn't work. But anyway, needless to say, if she didn't like curse words, she obviously wasn't going to like smoking either. So that was a big no go. And like I said before, I wasn't really addicted at this point anyway.
Yeah, that's not even including all the butt stuff. Like, that would have been right out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we won't get into that. Years go by. Eventually, I just picked up the habit, and yeah, that's where I am now, and I've quit smoking. So
Yeah, all those good times with those cigarettes, and you're just gonna throw it away like that. Like you just took me on this journey through the early part of your life, and then you're just like, yeah, and then I just decided to just drop cigarettes like a bad habit. So you have officially made tobacco one of your exes.
yes, Andy.
Okay. No, I'm happy for you. I hope that you feel healthier for it. But at this point, if you're cutting out sugar, if you're cutting out carbs, and you're cutting out tobacco, the day you tell me that you're not drinking alcohol anymore is the day that I finally pull the mask off your goddamn neck to reveal the whatever Dimension X space alien you actually are. Because
I
there's
am.
only so many things you can stop doing that stops making you Belial. I
uh,
want you to know that.
I still play video games. I still drink alcohol. The downside to drinking alcohol now, I don't have a problem with alcohol. I love alcohol. I'm not going to make it sound like that, but I mean, I do enjoy a good time with friends being enhanced by alcohol. Not all the time, but every once in a while. I don't want to sound like an alcoholic here or anything.
I
But
got you.
yeah, the downside to it though is my drink of choice was cherry Bacardi, if you remember,
Yeah.
and I can't drink that because there's a shit ton of sugar in it. So I've been
Yeah,
trying to
it's
find
cherry Bacardi.
right. So I've been trying to find a secondary drink. I have cognac, Hennessy, love Hennessy. I like it straight, so I don't have to mix it with anything, but it's expensive. Very
Honestly,
expensive.
you want something cheap that tastes good straight?
Give it to me.
I've always been a fan of amaretto.
That is loaded with sugar.
Really?
I think so. I'll have to look into it, but I'm almost positive it's loaded with sugar. That stuff's sweet. Has to be. I think it's sweet.
I always mix it with sweet things, so I never notice.
Oh God. Yeah, Andy's one of those people for those listening. And thanks again for listening. Huh? Like
Oh
really?
yeah, no, we totally value every set of ears or just one ear if you're a war veteran. People that listen to this. What? Some people have one ear. We have to be considerate. It's PC to thank the one ears out there, and they hear just as good as bats.
They hear just as good as Andy sees everything.
Uh, no, no, it's actually probably better. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually probably much better.
Andy sees as good as bats. But anyway, yeah. So I don't remember where the hell we were going, but I quit smoking. That's that.
Right.
Oh,
Congratulations.
alcohol. Yeah, I'm still drinking. Don't worry about it.
Good, good. Because, like I said, you start dropping too many Lyle-like habits, I'm gonna kill you.
Oh, that's what I was getting at. The girly drinks that you always drink. Andy orders a lot of girly drinks. It's kind of funny. But
Never mind what I drink, motherfucker. Just
He's the girliest drinker out there. It's so funny. On the other hand, and you can call this a girly drink all you want, but James Bond drinks them. I've been enjoying vodka martinis lately.
ugh.
Good old vodka and olive juice. It's tasty. No sugar, no carbs. And
I don't even like regular olives, let alone something that's olive juiced or flavored.
oh
Ugh.
no, I love me some olives, so it's all good. That's honestly what it tastes like. It tastes like I'm snacking on olives, and I'm like, how can I go wrong with this?
Yeah, and
It,
eating olives tastes like you're snacking on something's testicles, and no thank you. Like just vinegared pickled testicles, and you can put them on whatever fancy stick and drop it in whatever fancy liquor you want to, but it's still pickled testicles.
we like to call them pickled dude eggs. Thank you. Um,
Oh, I am so sorry. Those
uh,
drinks are the pits.
that's enough. So, um, me and Andy have been talking a little bit, like I've already said earlier, over the week, and we typically do a segment here where we go into some like bizarre kind of stories and everything. But I wanted to try out a game this week, kind of a
I
game.
love games.
Yeah, it's kind of a game. Basically, what it is I'm gonna just jump right into the explanation of it, the format of it here. Think of would you rather, right? Um,
Okay.
and this can be. Hmm, this doesn't necessarily have to be just would you rather bang them or would you rather marry them. Think of it as like a would you rather who would you prefer? Okay, just to do anything with on a not so platonic level. Okay, so it's kind of romantic, but we don't know how romantic. All right.
Okay, so depending on whatever you say, whether it be, man, woman, it better not be child because there's federal laws against that.
No,
Um,
do that. That's weird.
unless they're 17, then we're kind of riding a white line. But to be fair, I never know how old these celebrities are anyway.
All
Like,
right. Well, just first of all, um, yeah, that's funny you mentioned celebrity because it's kind of celebrity. Um, and just for folks, whether you guys want to believe me or not, Andy has no idea what I'm about to feed him here, even though he kind of just nailed it, which is funny. I guess the whole "would you rather" thing. Where else can you go other than celebrities? I mean, I could.
yeah, I'm about to say, like, if you're gonna be like, who would you rather have sex with, Samuel Fletcher or Eileen Ginsby? I'm like, who the fuck are either of those two?
I was really hoping you would drop some knowledge on us and be like, "Yeah, this guy was the inventor of the, ceiling fan," and this lady, she invented doorknobs.
The only thing I can tell you for sure about someone with the name of Eileen Ginsby is she died alone. That is the only fate that happens to somebody named Eileen Ginsby.
Or she had one leg.
And I challenge anybody to find me an Eileen Ginsby. I'm not even gonna Google this. Like, if you really want to, like, show some love on the Facebook page or whatever, and send me a link to a successful article about an Eileen Ginsby, and I will eat my words.
Ooh, I'm down with that. How about a little bit of a contest? If the first person that does it gets a shout out on the next episode.
That works. I'll be totally down for that.
Yeah, that's cool. something a little fun, friendly, and be sure to try it out too, because if you get your name on our Facebook, we'll look at it, and who knows, maybe we'll do like a giveaway something in the future, and we'll be sure to recognize that name first before the other ones.
Yeah, we'll give away what's left of Lyle's cigarettes.
No, my wife is still smoking currently.
Oh, speaking of your wife, I want to get back to her, but go ahead and do your thing.
So just to let everyone know, yes, I know it sounds impossible, but I am still living in a house with another smoker, and I quit cold turkey.
Yeah,
Oh.
again, I reserve the right to call you a space alien until you prove otherwise.
Look, man, like I said before, this is the last I'm going to touch on it. When you're ready to quit, you're ready to quit. It's not a matter of needing a patch or a piece of gum or something like that. Like when that switch goes off and says I don't want to do this anymore, you're done.
That is
But
the
anyway,
same advice somebody gives about having anal for the first time. You realize that, right?
so basically, what this game is, uh, yeah, we're gonna do a sexual thing here. It's gonna be who would you rather bang. We're gonna just keep it at that. But the interesting part about it is it's not just a celebrity. It is going to be an actor or an actress. Okay, and the other
Okay.
side of it is going to be a character that thespian has played.
Oh.
Yeah, so you're going to be looking at the. How about if I just give you the first one and we'll go with that?
All right, yeah, yeah. Just like dump me head first into this. What do you got?
Would you rather Winona Ryder or Lydia from Beetlejuice?
Oh, God. All right. Huh. Nona Ryder or Lydia from Beetlejuice? Honestly, I would actually rather do Lydia from Beetlejuice. Um, Winona Ryder is like, God, I don't even know how to describe her level of used sponginess to my eyes. Like, that's what she reminds me of. She's like a used kitchen sponge that you probably should have thrown away a month ago, but it's reliable, I guess, for lack of a better term. Or you just stop doing dishes and just get takeout. But like that's her kind of like feel that I get from her anymore. Whereas Lydia from Beetlejuice has always looked back on fondness as like, you're kind of guessing whether or not she's like, like I always got like an early 20s vibe for her. She could have been 18. I don't know when the hell Beetlejuice was made. Michael Keaton was still a weirdo. Um, and her wearing that red wedding dress. I don't know why that was harder to say than it was. Um, was fine. And if I could just get her to shout my name 3 times in one evening, then I think I'll die a satisfied man.
Well, that's exactly the kind of explanation I was looking for. I have quite a few more, so let's just move right on to the next one. That was very good. Um,
Okay.
the next one is going to be Christina Ricci or Ray from Black Snake Moan.
Ooh, okay. So, man, I have to agree with um, Samuel L. Jackson here because there is nothing like having a white bitch tied up in your yard. Um, I mean, people say that basements are more practical because it's shunned away from public eyes. Ooh, but the yard is probably the best place. Um, Christina Ricci, I actually really do like Christina Ricci. And Black Snake Moan was all right. I mean, I can't compete with Samuel L. Jackson in that respect because I mean, honestly, if you had a choice between me and Samuel, you want the BFM on your side or in your side or however Sammy does it because whatever he wants, you listen. But I mean, hell, I would. But no, I'm actually gonna go with Christina Ricci on this. I think she could do better. I'm trying to think of one of her other roles that I found her more attractive in. Um, but she is not outside of my outside of my winking eye to
I'm gonna just say this much: the idea of it is not to say, "Oh, let me try to think of another role." No, I gave you the role, and that's it.
well then yeah, as hot as it is for captured white girl to be in my yard, I would rather just go with Christina Ricci. I think I can get better out of her.
I'm gonna hit you with one now that I think might clear up this game a little bit more. Excuse me. Basically, okay, so the idea of this game is going to be, um, would you rather this person because of everything going on with them, or this character because of how crazy this character is?
I got you. All right.
Uh, Mel Gibson
Mm-hmm.
or William Wallace?
Ooh. So I guess this is a time for confessions.
Oh no.
Um, I have never actually
Oh
seen Braveheart.
no. Jesus.
No,
What with
I've
it? All right, fine. I will gladly accept. This is. It's a shame that I have to go away from this because this is one of the better ones I thought I had. But okay, how about Lethal Weapon?
see you say that. Um, I have only ever seen Mel Gibson in like two movies.
Oh God. Why did you just tell me those movies?
Well, no, three. Okay, so I've seen him in the original Mad Max movies, which
Okay.
I count those as one. Um, and I've seen him in What Women Want,
Okay.
and I've seen him in The Patriot.
The Patriot. That's well. It's just kind of old. All right. Well, kind of. All right. How about the Mel Gibson that used to act back in the Patriot days and the Lethal Weapon days and the What a Girl Wants days, just to put it into perspective for you, versus the Mel Gibson after the Passion of the Christ days.
Ooh. Okay, so you're probably gonna think that I'm gonna play it safe on this one, but
No, I
not with
don't.
Mel. Oh
No, I
no,
don't.
no,
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 I,
no,
no, I
no.
don't. I wouldn't think that at all.
No, Mel is a satisfying amount of angry, sexy, crazy. So no, it's kind of like having like imagine a menstruating Latina that doesn't stop at the 5 days. She just goes all year round. Like that's how I picture Mel Gibson to be.
My
And
God.
he's probably just as fiery and passionate like that in the bedroom. And he doesn't share. Oh no. He does not make love. He is not a man that makes love with a person. He makes love at a person. He will
Oh,
probably call you every nasty name in the book and probably a few sweet ones just to pepper it in there. But eventually he's going to get so red faced and out of breath, and your face is going to be so peppered with spit and probably semen that you are both going to collapse in heaps of spent love. And at the end of the day, you're the one thought I'm going to have to myself is, yeah, Mel Gibson chose me.
a fiery Latina that is menstruating for more than just 5 days.
Yeah, no, that is modern crazy Mel Gibson.
My
Like
God. What
that
the
is
hell,
him in a
man?
nutshell.
What the hell?
That's just
Uh,
how I picture it, man. I call it like I see it.
Andy Diaz, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful. All right. Shall we move on to the next one?
Yeah, sure, no, keep them coming. I like this.
Uh, so, since we've seen What a Girl Wants, I'm going to have to assume the next one would be Lindsay Lohan, or I'm seeing it as Katie Heron from the movie Mean Girls.
Ooh, this one's a toughie. Um,
Remember, Lindsay likes the women.
she does like the women. She does, and she's got a bit of that. Like, man, I don't know. She's a moody party girl, but the coke thing instantly ruins it for me.
Oh,
Um,
no, no, no. Oprah got her off the coke. She's still a drinker, but that could be a good thing. That means that she's up for anything given the right night and the right bottle.
yeah, but I don't know. Like, I might have to go with the Mean Girls version of Lindsay just because, like,
So the one kind of teetering on the edge of, legal and not legal, because I'm really not sure.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. I was actually trying to think about that the entire time. I was trying to come up with an explanation because I'm like, is that a factor? At the end of the day, is the idea of her character in that movie being legal a factor in what I would leave smeared across her butt? I don't know. Um, because I mean, they could probably take all the DNA evidence they want, but the idea is that I still had Lindsay Lohan. Um,
Okay,
so you
here's
can
what I'm
send me
going to
to
tell
jail.
you. Here's what I'm going to tell you there before you incriminate yourself anymore. Um, Lindsay Lohan, as a person, was born July 2nd, 1986. Uh, Mean Girls was released April 30th, 2004, which means she was 3 months away from being 18
Oh,
when it was released.
right. No, then I am absolutely fine with that. Then all qualms aside and incrimination possibilities out the window, I would freaking
Oh boy.
tear the clothes off of the Mean Girls Lindsay Lohan.
I mean, let's just to once quote Andy here, and I'm going to let him finish his own quote once I get him started on it. If there's grass on the field,
If there's grass on the field, then turn her over and play in the mud.
see, the way I heard it before was if there isn't grass on the field, then no problem. You can always just play in the mud.
Yes, yes, I'm sorry.
Nice to try to make it sound good for your public image here. You're not getting by on me. No, no, no.
Thank you. I appreciate you keeping me in check on the bottom three rungs of my ladder that I'm allowed to be at.
You're welcome. Definitely the role in Mean Girls then.
Yeah, and it's weird too because like I don't know her like her character name is so forgettable that it's just the Mean Girls chick.
Yeah, I had to look it up. It's either Katie or Caddy. It's Cady, and it's Heron, Heron. So not
So
really matters.
she's a bird who is also a golfer's assistant.
Sure,
That's a heron. That's a
that's
catty heron.
Caddy Heron. Yes, or she's just no, she is a easily angered and very jealous woman that is really bad at spelling, but addicted to a very addicting drug.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right.
All right, that's enough of that. Let's move on to the next one. Oh, here's a fun one. This is another woman. So I go with this one. I think this is one of the ones I've been putting this list together for a while now. I've got help
Okay.
on it. I've gotten help on it and stuff like that. So this is definitely one that I came up with, and I think this is one of the ones that I came up with. Like, you know how you're like just about to fall asleep and you come up with this brilliant idea. At least you think it's brilliant, so you hurry up and jot it down. And most of the time you don't and you forget it. This whole game was one of those ideas.
Okay.
I'm still not sure if it's brilliant or not, but you know, it's fun so far. And this idea was one of the first ones. Um, it's not a character that they played, but it's I have I'm just gonna read what I have.
Okay.
Jennifer Lopez,
Uh-huh.
old in parentheses from the block, or recent in parentheses claiming to be from the block.
Ooh.
I don't know what the hell I'm going at with that, but you know.
Okay.
Do you want Jenny from the block, or do you want I'm still Jenny from the block? I guess.
Huh. Is the idea that she was Jenny from the block more attractive than the chick that is actually Jenny from the block?
Yeah.
That is actually a fairly decent question. Hmm. Because there's nothing wrong with the way that, J Lo is now. I mean, like she could still, you know, rock a strategically placed leaves if she wanted to. Um, like I don't know. I kind of like the idea of older Jennifer Lopez. Just the idea that having that reputation there of like the shit that she's done before and still where she is at now, like success. Success is a very big turn on as far as Jennifer Lopez is concerned. Like having her back in the day being like, just starting out and at the crest of her initial rise to fame, she was still like one of those annoying people that you're like, oh, J-Lo, like, oh, I'm so sick to hearing about this bitch. But like, her reputation is endeared to the point where like, she's kind of built up uh, a sense of, I don't even know, like an air of pressure cooked femininity that I like. Like it's just been stewing out in those cheeks of hers, and I cannot help but feel attracted to it. So yeah, I am gonna go with 5 years from Wrinkly Jenny.
I'm still Jenny from the block.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna go with that one.
Love the description, by the way. Pressure cooked feminism.
Yeah.
Spewing out of the cheeks. Alright. Let's flip it over to a couple guys.
I'm afraid.
You should be. We're actually running through these a lot quicker than I thought we were. So that's fun. But, Charlie Sheen or Ricky Vaughn from Major League.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, yeah, no, he was something. Ooh, yeah, no, regular Charlie Sheen. Okay, so whereas Mel Gibson was, a volcano of testosterone that I would gladly let Pompeii over my body. I cannot do that with Charlie Sheen. He is a psychotic kind of crazy. Like one of those things where I would fear for my safety with Charlie Sheen. Plus, he is such a pile of garbage. Now, like, okay, whereas Kesha is a fun bag of garbage, Charlie Sheen is just a pathetic, like, you left it in the bin too long, and every time you throw something away, you hate taking the lid off the can because you don't want to smell what's in there kind of garbage. Um, you should have taken it out a week ago, but you're lazy and you don't want to get it out the door. Like that is Charlie Sheen in a nutshell. Like I'm not.
If I could stop you right there, please, for 1 second. I can't wait to hear the rest of that, but I have to call attention to the elephant in the room here. Uh,
What?
Andy, folks, just thought he can sneak out the word Kesha and not get any repercussions for it. Andy is probably one of the biggest Kesha fans I know. And, I used to think that it was just, he liked this one song because it was catchy and he would occasionally sing it every once in a while when he had a little bit of his pink bubbly drink that he orders from the bar. Um
It's green.
it was pink that night. Anyway, so he'll
Yes,
he'll
yes, it
he'll
was pink that night.
he'll take a couple sips from that as he moves the little umbrella away and it goes to the swirly straw. Um, he'll take a couple sips of it, maybe suck on the orange that's hanging off the rim of the glass.
Strawberry.
Right, strawberry, and then he'll start belting out a couple Kesha lines, which can easily just been mistaken for he's just kind of feeling in the mood right now and just kind of belting out something that's stuck in his head, maybe something that's playing over the speaker at a bar if it's a popular bar like a sports bar or something, and it's ladies' night or something like that. Um, but no, I found out through a reputable source, his older brother, that he is actually quite the Kesha fan. And ever since I've heard that, I've noticed he mentions Kesha way more than anybody should. Not just because he's male. Let's not discriminate people by gender here, folks. But because Kesha is irrelevant anymore. So the fact that he's still using Kesha in his examples only further proves his older brother saying his obvious love for the washed up superstar.
Point of clarity. He's my younger brother.
Same thing.
No, there's a hell of a difference
Well,
because honestly,
That's even better because I was waiting for people to be like, it's his older brother. Of course he's going to say that. He wants to pick on him. But let me just put it to you this way. First of all, it's his younger brother, as I've just been, cleared up on. Which, who knows?
correct.
We might actually have him on this very podcast someday. That could be fun. And point number two, even though not only is it his younger brother, but Andy never once disputed me while I was saying all that.
Well, for me, that was just such a big point of clarification. I had to get that out of the way first. Um, Second of all, is that have you ever heard any of her music? My God, she really is just a bedazzled rhinestoned bag of garbage. Like I don't know how best to describe it. Like
But for some reason you love it. Then again, you are also an ICP fan. Continue.
just gonna throw that in there. Oh my God, so's your wife.
My wife has listened to them before. Don't bring her into this.
No, I'll bring her in later. Um, that'll be a
That's
delightful
right too.
threesome. But getting back on topic.
And just so everyone knows here, I personally can't stand Insane Clown Posse, and Andy, on the other hand, can't wait to juggalo their balls. So, be it whatever side of the fence you stand on, there's something for either one of you here at this podcast because we both.
But I mean, come on, they pose serious questions. Like seriously, how the fuck do magnets work?
So back to Charlie Sheen.
So back to Charlie Sheen. So no, yeah, I would be more concerned that he would like, convulse bleeding out of every orifice that would find its way to his center. Um, and like yell at me the entire time about not wearing a toaster on my head. Like it's not even the fun kind of crazy. It is the scary, like, hiding in your closet from your rapey uncle scary. So just by example of how bad Charlie Sheen would be for me, I would have to default to, Major League just then and there. Like I'm not that's not my favorite one of his personas or characters that he's played, but definitely in comparison to who Charlie Sheen is as a person, is automatically makes the secondary choice that much better.
Fair enough. I got one more for you.
All right.
Right.
I don't know how you can top it, but sure, we'll go with
It's
who is the last horse to cross this finish line.
funny enough. It's probably well, I'll just say it. Michael Richards or Cosmo Kramer.
Oh God. Okay. So gonna go with Cosmo Kramer on this one because Michael Richards is actually a pretty big douchebag. Um, like not even a pleasant kind of douchebag. Like yells at you for having the napkins on the wrong side of the dinner plate kind of douchebag. Which is a far cry away from like Cosmo Kramer, who is the lovable idiot, who's a little bit of a spaz, but like I mean that totally fits my personality. Like I am a lovable idiot who's kind of a spaz. Like one
It also,
plus one
it
equals
also
anal. Like I would totally have a romantic evening with Cosmo Kramer. And you know what? We would fight over who got to pay for it, and that would be refreshing.
I don't know if you're allowed to say the word spaz anymore, Andy.
I
I don't know. Some people, I just don't think it's allowed in public speaking.
well, fuck those people. Spaz is no. There's nothing wrong with using the term spaz. I refuse. I mean, they're already taking away retarded and porch monkey. I refuse to let this one go. I mean, it's a principle of the thing, damn it.
And you're certain you'd rather have Kramer over Michael Richards?
Yes, definitely so. Michael Richards can rot in the ground in obscurity somewhere, wherever the hell that guy is, because
Oh,
honestly, since Seinfeld died out and he hasn't gotten any work since then, or any of the work he has gotten has been relegated to independent movie theaters because the guy is such a major freaking douchebag. No, Cosmo Kramer all the way. We'll even Spoon. I'll let him be Little Spoon.
I seen Michael Richards was on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld. That's the only thing I've seen him in outside of Seinfeld, stand up, and talk shows. Like, obviously, he was doing stand up when he had his meltdown on stage, And as far as the talk show thing goes, he was on. I want to say it was Letterman. Well, Jerry Seinfeld was on Letterman, and he had Michael Richards call in to apologize about the whole stand-up fiasco. Yeah, I'm just kind of going off of memory here. I don't really know.
So wait, I want to ask you one of these because I think I got the point of it.
Neat. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so Reese Witherspoon
Oh God.
or Ginormica?
Ginormica.
You're actually looking it up.
What the hell is Ginormica?
From Monsters vs. Aliens, the DreamWorks movie?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because you keep telling me about characters that are in movies, so I'm going to go with a cartoon character.
Okay, is this a character that was played by Reese Witherspoon?
Yes.
Oh. Let me check out some images.
Wow. All right.
Never seen the movie before. Look. Okay, we just got to the Rule 34 section of Monsters vs. Aliens. That's fun.
You're welcome.
Fun. She's got a big booty, apparently.
Apparently, yeah.
And oh God, that is just wrong. That is.
You're welcome.
Who's the little red cricket-looking guy?
Oh, that's the doctor. That's the fly
Well,
analogy.
Let's just say he's a gynecologist in this picture. I'm gonna go with Reese Witherspoon. I did have another one for you, but I didn't really like it, and I decided to take it out. It was going to be hold on. See, this is why you always come prepared. Now I feel like an idiot. Gwyneth Paltrow or Pepper Potts?
Eh.
Yeah, that's kind of why I took it out. It's just like, they're kind of both unwantable.
Yeah, like, I mean, at that point, I'm just wondering who I don't want VD from, and it's not a fun comparison.
And I was going to use Johnny Depp in one, but I was just like, oh, what character though? Okay, it can't be Jack Sparrow because that's no. It's
No.
okay. So I was thinking, well, there's Edward Scissorhands, there's Willy Wonka.
No.
This was also in the stage of the game when I was still trying to decide whether if it was just straight sexual thing or if it was maybe like a relationship kind of thing, a marriage kind of thing.
Ooh. Wait, hold on. If you're going with males, I got a better one.
Okay.
All right. So, would you rather have Leonardo DiCaprio
Oh boy.
or Jack from Titanic?
Can I just go into a rant about Titanic real quick?
Can I stop you?
Anyway. So, I'm sorry. I have made it a point to avoid this stupid movie. Yes, stupid movie. For so long, okay?
Uh-huh.
I when it came out, I was pre-adolescent, maybe. I don't know when did that stupid fucking movie come out. I don't even know. Look, it doesn't matter, okay? When it came out, it was all the rage. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, you gotta see Titanic!" My grandparents went and seen it like 4 times. I think that was the first and only time they've ever been to a movie theater was to see a stupid ass movie. That's not true, but they weren't big fans of the movie theater. They thought it was overpriced back then, which was like $6 a ticket. And they didn't like it. They didn't like the movie theaters. They loved the movie Titanic. They seen it like 4 or 5 times. They took my brother with them. He loved the movie, and I'm like, why? Why even you? My sister loved it. Everyone loved this movie. Any girl in school was just like, oh my god, Leonardo DiCaprio, he's so cute. I don't get it. Years go by. I have still not seen this movie. I didn't see it in the theater. I didn't see it on VHS when it first came out. I didn't see it at all. Like, I avoided people's houses when they said they rented it for the night. And, all that stuff. Yeah, because back then you used to rent movies from, actual brick and mortar stores. Back to that in a second. Anyway, so, yeah, avoided it all these years. Finally, I get with the woman who is now my wife. She tells me, hey, it's the, I think, 20-year anniversary of the release of Titanic.
Yep.
They're re-releasing it into the theaters, and it's going to be in 3D, and you're going to take me. I said, no, I can't do that. I've made it a point to avoid this movie all these years. I cannot break that. She
Uh,
goes, didn't you make the same excuse for Star Wars? And if you listen to last week's episode, you'll see that. And yes, I did. So she kind of got me there, and she was like, besides that, you already seen Twilight. How bad could it be? Again, listen to first week's episode, you'll get that. So she was right, and I was just like, fine, whatever, I'll do it for you. And you know what? After all these years, maybe it's time to actually give it a proper review instead of just saying this movie's stupid because everyone else liked it. So I go and I watch the movie in 3D. Now, here's my assessment of it. The 3D was not bad. I didn't expect much out of it because it was a remastered movie. That's the last positive thing I'm going to say about this movie.
uh,
A complete pile of trash. My God, this movie is so stupid. First of all, okay, why is it okay to promote cheating on your boyfriend? All right, why? Why is that okay? Why is it okay to promote illegally getting onto a boat? All right, and besides all that, oh, it wasn't illegal. He won it fair and square in an illegal gambling game. Yes, it was illegal. Let's fast forward all that. Spoiler alert, by the way, in case you've never seen this movie, uh, don't. And if you need a reason, ignore the spoiler alert. End of the movie. The entire movie is all about this crew looking for the buried treasure of the Titanic, which is this one jewel that is worth not even mentioned number of dollars. It's just so invaluable, like it's just or valuable rather that there's no price for it. Could clearly make them one of the richest crews on the planet. Apparently, a survivor of the Titanic gets word that they're looking for it and decides, hey, I'm a survivor. You want to hear stories? So this kooky old lady comes on board who is being taken care of by her granddaughter, I think it was. Maybe her
yeah.
grandniece. Not really too important. Basically, a younger chick. Someone that is clearly has her wits about her and all that because the grandmother no longer does. She shits herself a couple times in the movie. That's actually not true. If she did, I might have enjoyed that a little bit, but unfortunately.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so she tells him the story about how she fell in love with this guy, even though she was dating this douchebag. Which, I mean, I get it. You're dating a douchebag. Break up with him first. Why? Anyway, the end of the movie, it's revealed that she has the gem the whole time. Now, no one else on the boat knows this, including the granddaughter that has taken care of her all these years. What does she do? She doesn't sell it. She doesn't give it to the nice crew for letting her tell her story, which is a good thing because if I was the granddaughter, I'd be especially pissed because hey, I just took care of your old ass for all these years. I changed your fucking diaper and wipe your goddamn ass. Give me the gem. Make
Oh my
no.
God.
She doesn't even do that. She throws it into the bottom of the ocean. Why? Why does she do that? I wish I could tell you why because it's never explained. Because the next thing that you know, you're getting credits, and it just blew my mind. I like straight up marveled this movie. I waited until after the credits, expecting something. I was like, is Sam Jackson going to come out and be like, we found the gem. This is one of the Infinity Gems, and it's going to go into the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, I was hoping for something. I was hoping for something. This movie was awful. So many things wrong with it. Okay, so the person that everyone is going nuts over, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, his name is Jack. Like I said, he convinces this woman to cheat on her spouse, fiance, with him several times. On top of that, uh, not only does he do that, but where else was I going with this? Oh, right. So he dies in the movie. The one that everyone's so in love with, fucking loves Jack. Oh, what an absolute romantic. He dies. He completely dies. Someone forgot to
Completely
call him.
dies. Not just dies, he completely
He
dies.
just as dead can be. Someone
Uh,
call him out. He's done. He's got no flavor in him. He's freezer burnt the whole nine.
well, they found him first before they found Steve Rogers. You know that, right?
I'm not done yet. The chick does not die. The love interest. I don't remember her name. What was it? something
Rose.
Rose. Yeah, no, my mother's name. Anyway, so she does not die, nor does her fiance, because her Weasley fiance, who tried. This is another thing. The
Oh
boat,
my god.
okay, the boat is sinking. There's a very small possibility of this Jack fellow surviving. What does this fiance of this chick's do? He tries shooting him. Like, dude, just get off the boat. You're going to make it because you're rich. This dude, he ain't going nowhere. He's already dead. Just let him be. Why even waste ammo in this poor son of a bitch? So clearly, he took shooting lessons from a stormtrooper. Yeah, that's a Star Wars joke. And
Wow.
yeah, he couldn't hit him for shit. And on top of all of that, he survives. So the good guy that everyone loves so much is the one that died, and the bad guy that everyone can't stand is the one that survived. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking right now. Oh, but it says that a couple months later he committed suicide because he couldn't bear the idea of his woman not loving him. Look, that's all good and fine, but I didn't get the visual gratification of seeing that. Therefore, in my mind, the bad guy actually won. This was not the bad guy to let win. You know, this was just not. Look, I had a lot of problems with this movie, so therefore I
Clearly.
have to answer your question in saying Leonardo DiCaprio would be the one that I would choose as my lover because it would not be the icebox known as Jack.
You know, hearing that explanation and that rant on why you hate Titanic so much makes me realize that you genuinely do not have music in your soul.
Oh, what? Am I supposed to just be like, oh, it's a magical movie?
No. But
It just is.
the whole point of the movie is it's about people that follow their hearts, and just because it's a bad decision for the brain doesn't mean that it's the logical choice that the movie had to go with. Yes, these people made stupid decisions, but it's because they're letting their emotions lead them versus, like, logic.
So, instead of paying your granddaughter insane amounts of money that she could never even dream of, uh, for wiping your ass, because I guarantee you she did that before, you throw the gem into the ocean.
They had a nice looking house. Who's to say that she didn't have money already? She left her a good inheritance in the will. Move on.
It could have been more. Okay, you know what? Even if that's the case, let's say they were rich. The freaking crew that just let her on her ship was looking for that very gem.
Yeah, but for the wrong reasons. They weren't finding it for love, they were finding it for greed. She would rather throw it into the ocean where Jack was as recompense to his spirit.
No, no, Jack was the dinner of fish for a very long time. As a matter of fact, he was frozen. Therefore, he can almost be considered a TV dinner, or if not, at least preserved long enough so that the fish were actually not only getting a good meal, but one that wasn't rotted out for a change. And didn't
Hmm.
consist of their own poop for once. So Jack was long gone, trust me. Um,
The memory of Jack then.
and that's the whole other thing. This bitch is like 97 years old. Who the hell knows how much memory she actually still has? So they let this crazy old lady onto their ship and tell this story that chances are probably isn't even real. She probably never even was on the Titanic. If anything, she probably just played the role of a play in like some grade school theatric thing that her parents made her do, and the nuns at the Catholic school she attended forced her to play the one part of falling in love with some douchebag and have being swept away. Look, the movie was terrible. Okay, I'm going off on a tangent here, much more
Yeah, I
than.
see that.
Uh,
Well, don't worry. Don't worry. My heart will go on.
if I was to answer your question, um, let's take Leo out of the equation here and say any character from the movie Titanic. Do you know who it would be?
Hmm.
Kathy Bates. So
Really?
I can constantly be reminded of how shitty everything about my life was, being that I have anything to do with this terrible fucking movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Oh, and I can only imagine what you'd say about Avatar, but we're gonna we're gonna save that for another day.
Unobtainium.
Yeah, unobtainium. No, that's the same fucking thing I have to say about it. So at least we agree. Um,
I will say this much though. Kathy Bates was the fucking bomb in Misery. Listen, for the longest time, I could not stand Kathy Bates, and you know, want to know why?
why?
Because her role was so compelling and convincing in Misery that I literally still hate her a little bit for that role. Just because it was that damn convincing that I actually dislike the actress that played that role a little bit because of it. Like it
Wow.
carried on to the actual actress. Like she made me hate her just by seeing that movie. That was an impressive damn movie. Anyway.
Anyway, so all this talk about love and who would you rather do and stuff like that actually goes pretty well with the question that I have for you, sir.
Okay.
All right, you've been together with your lovely wife now for a while,
Yep.
and she is a sweetheart, love her to death, maybe more than you. That's for time to decide. But
That's strike
uh,
2.5, Andy.
but the question I pose to you is that say that one day your wife decides to get a sex change, would you still be with her?
For the record, what is she changing it to?
Well, man,
Okay. I mean,
unless
yes, she's a woman now, but I wasn't sure if she was getting like a third boob, maybe a second
no,
vagina, or just
no, no,
ends up with both. You know, that could be fun. Um,
she's not getting the Total Recall or the Call of Cthulhu.
why not? I mean, technically it's a gender change, right? All of a sudden you're a whole lot more woman than you ever were before. Or maybe just a slight touch of male inside the, have us both. That could be
No,
fun.
see, I don't. No, if I put anything in and it gets like feelered or antennaed, I would lose my shit.
All right. So if she switched to a man, would
Hmm.
I still? What was the question? Love her or be with her?
Be with her.
Well, gotta be honest, it's a toughie. Would I still be with her?
Because that is a lot of toughie. Because I mean, for a lot of people, like the point of a relationship is that you are with a person, um, because you like everything about them, you get along, you meld with their personality, you love them physically, all that stuff. But like, a lot of that is based off the same line of what your sexual preferences are. So, if you were to have somebody that you've known for years and loved for years as one gender, and then they switch it on you, that's got to put some kind of strain there.
Well, let me ask you this much: how into the idea of having an open relationship is she he?
um, Not at all. He, she. No, Sklee. Sklee? I forget how they put it in Futurama. Um,
Oh, jeez.
yeah. Sklee feels that you should still be monogamous and mutually
Hmm.
exclusive.
Are we still sexually active?
Oh, of course. As much as you'll let
So
Sklim be.
is it a must?
Is it a must?
Yeah.
You know your wife. Would it be a must?
I'm not answering that on this podcast, Andy. And that's strike 2 3/4. uh, so
Oh, I bet if she's listening to this, she's loving it.
oh, don't worry, she's not. She doesn't like me. Um, so would I still be with her? I mean, as much as I could be without being. I mean, when it comes down to it, I'm just not attracted to that gender. There's nothing wrong
Right.
with people that are. There's nothing wrong with people that are attracted to both genders. But I am only attracted to the female gender. So, could we stay married? Absolutely. If she's okay with me, going out and having needs fulfilled by people of the opposite gender. If she's not okay with that, then no, we can't stay married. But can we stay friends? Absolutely.
Okay. All right. No, because like I know, and there's probably going to be a couple people out there that'll be like, oh, it's so shallow to just think of like the sex, but like, no, 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 no. See, there's a difference when you take something that that you were attracted to and love, and then at the end of the day, they, you know, surgically look like they're trying to attach an elephant trunk on like a predator face, and you're supposed to make love to that. Like, I don't know what else to do. Like,
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's people can think I'm shallow for that answer and all that, but that's all going to fine. But do you need to have sex in a relationship to make it work? No, but do you need to have sex in a marriage to make it work? Kind of. I mean, how long are you supposed to go before you actually have this happen? Sure, there's some people that wait for marriage. Those people are just fine and dandy. Um, but after that happens, after the marriage is there, like then what? Are you supposed to just not do anything? What exactly is changing your level of friendship into relationship?
right. And for that relationship to thrive outside of that, you know, that kind of change. Because I mean, like, there's some
Yeah,
people
well,
like,
that's just the thing. If someone is doing something as drastic as a change as a gender change, now all of a sudden you're asking, you're not. It's you could think of me as shallow, but before you do that, think of her as selfish because she is not only changing herself, but she's also asking me to change my orientation. You see what I'm saying?
right.
If she wants to stay committed into the relationship, now all of a sudden she's asking me to change my sexual orientation to gay because technically she is a male all of a sudden. She identifies as a male, she has all the components of a male, and she wants me to also put those components inside of me. And
I
that's
mean,
not okay with me.
or the Play-Doh factory equivalent of said components, but
Right. Although they have been doing there's been penis transfers. Successful penis transfers.
no.
Yes. Yes, that is a thing, my friend.
So are you telling me that I could donate my penis to science,
That is very soon, from what I understand.
and I still can't get a fucking eye transplant?
I
You are putting dicks on women, but I can't see out of a better pair of eyes. The, the wonders of modern medicine.
oh, it is what it is, my friend.
My God, that makes me so upset.
Can you really not get an eye transplant?
No, that doesn't exist. I mean, they're making some headway on it, but it's not a thing that's like, oh, hey, we can do this now. No, it's a very
So,
difficult
now
organ to
to be
transfer.
fair, sure, because there's a lot of components to it. How can you be mad at anything for that? So they could transfer a dick before they could transfer your eyes. Big deal. There's,
I
there's,
bet.
there's, there's no
No,
reason for you to get mad about that. You
yes,
just
there
said
is.
no, it's not. You just said it yourself. The eye is a very complicated organ.
It is a very complicated organ, and you know what? I would rather take the time and effort it took to study how to transplant a dick to be put towards the eyes, and maybe we'd be closer to that.
Well, sure, I get what you're saying there, but you just said they're making all kind of headway all the time. Clearly, there are people invested in studying the transplants of eyes.
There are. There are. And you know what? All of them came with their own penis.
Mm-hmm. And their
So
own
there's
eyes.
that. Oh, yeah, yeah. No matter how round they may or may not be.
Well, I'm still waiting on certain transplants myself.
It's pills, man. You just take a few estrogen pills, you're fine.
No, I want new knees. No, not new knees. Uh, it's not the knees that I want changed. I just kind of want cyborg parts. Like I would love to have tank treads as legs. That'd be awesome.
See, you say that until you come across your first flight of stairs.
That's why they're tank treads. All I gotta do is just angle myself correctly, and I'm good to go.
Oh my God, man, fall over just once, and I guarantee you'll regret it.
Again, tank treads. You see, I thought about this, Andy.
Have you?
Yeah.
You know how much gas your personal self would need to go around all over the place?
I'll start eating carbs again. No big deal.
That's what it would take for you to eat a fucking slice of bread. Get your legs replaced with caterpillar treads.
Who said caterpillar? These are tank treads, Andy.
Ugh.
Although, you do make a good point. If I can have like little suction cups on the bottom of them, I can now scale buildings. That'd be pretty dope.
Save us, Tank Man!
Oh, see, then the augmentations can't stop there. Let me ask you something, Andy. If you can have one augmentation, what would it be?
One augmentation?
Yeah.
Ooh, man, what would it be? Actually, that is a really good question because it's hard to peg down. I always try to get the most benefit out of any one. Like, I like to take one thing and make it last across multiple subjects and across multiple abilities. But it's a lot easier to do that if I can get something magical. But if you're talking about science and an augmentation, I would have to say mechanical white blood cells.
Why?
I want nanobot white blood cells. That way I never have to worry about disease until I die of natural causes.
How do you suppose that's going to work that way?
Because they're smart cells. Like, they just deal with it.
Yeah, you're assuming that it's going to work, though. I mean, what happens if,
Well, of course I'm assuming it works. I paid for it.
But what happens if the nanobot cells get a bug?
And what happens if the transmission goes on your damn tank treads?
Then I have to go to the mechanic and get it repaired. Worst
Well, then
case
I have to
scenario,
go to the mechanical doctor and get it mechanically medical repaired.
But the difference is, the worst case scenario for me is I just can't scale buildings and get back and forth to work anymore. You, on the other hand, my good friend, you don't have white blood cells anymore.
And I die of a common cold. Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah, that's a huge difference. I don't think you weighed all the possibilities of that one. But it does sound like a bad movie. And remember how I said we were going to get back to the whole renting thing?
Oh, yeah, well, look at that segue.
Yeah, we are professionals.
Ooh, I want my legs to be replaced with a Segway.
You only get one. It's too late. You already answered. Stupid question. Or
Fuck
stupid
you.
answer, rather. Yeah. So, as some of you may or may not know, there was a time where you can rent videos, video games, any kind of, media at stores called rental places, such as Blockbuster, and Blockbuster.
Yeah.
What are some other ones? Like, a lot of mom and pop
Hollywood
shops
Video.
now. Yeah, Hollywood Video is another chain. I'm trying to think of chains because, like, around this area there was a lot of mom and pop shops. There was even there was this one store growing up. I'm not gonna get into the name of it, but it was like a convenience store slash deli. It wasn't Wawa. But you can
Then it
go in
didn't
there,
exist.
right? You can go in there and you can order like sandwiches. They had a grill, so you can order like cheesesteaks, cheeseburgers, French fries, all that whole stuff. It was really good food. Uh, and then you could also get like cigarettes. You can get candy bars, magazines, pretty much anything that you needed as far as a convenience store would carry. If you go into the back room a bit, they had an arcade cabinet
Hmm.
of Street Fighter 2.
Okay.
I spent a lot of quarters on that machine. It was right down the street from my house. But so yeah, I spent a lot of quarters on that machine. Um, but anyway, more importantly, if you kept walking, there was a whole room of movies that you could rent. Now, prior to the downfall of rentals, this was a common thing in mom and pop shops. As a matter of fact, they also at one point had a room before the movie room that you can rent like video games from. That didn't last very long for some reason. The movie room stayed for a while, but I remember the video game room dying out very quickly. But anyway, what was really funny, and I'm going off on a tangent here, but what was really funny is on the very high shelves of the movie room was all like the adult movies and everything, the porn and everything, which is just funny to think like of a time prior to the internet where you actually had to go and rent porn DVDs in order to get your rocks off.
Yeah. Those were
But
good times.
so I guess my question for you here would be what is your favorite or at least most memorable rental story experience and what's the worst?
Ooh, okay. So probably I can't tell if this one would be for one or the other, but I do have a rental story. Um, so once upon a time ago, in the far off distant past of 1990 question mark, um, I fell in love with a particular SNES title called Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Oh, what a game.
Loved that game.
Yes.
Um, I never even knew the game existed until I played it at a friend's house. Uh, and we didn't even get particularly very far, but I fell in love with the game. I'm like, oh my God, this game is awesome. And it's 2-player. And, I have a Super Nintendo. Why don't I have this game? So, mom wouldn't buy it.
Hmm.
For whatever reason, adult reasons. We could either have that or electricity, blah, 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 whatever. But,
I don't need electricity, Mom. I need this video game.
I need a video game. I don't need electricity. Oh, God, why are parents so And so we're like, all right, well, we got the consensus of, because we rented from Blockbuster all the time, different movies and stuff like that. So it was like, all right, well, next time we go, you can rent it. How about that? I'm like, yes, all right, fantastic. Go over there, and they had one copy of Zombies Ate My Neighbors, and it was rented out already.
Oh,
Always hated finding the box and not finding the case
yes.
underneath it
For
that
those of you that
signified.
For those of you who don't know, what he's referring to here is they would give you the box that the game and or movie came in, and it would be the cardboard box. And behind that would be just a generic plastic shell that the cassette would go into, and I say cassette because that covered all video games at the time and all movies at the time. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, you get this plastic shell behind it that it would go in, and if that plastic shell was there, that means that there was however many plastic shells, there were that many copies of that in particular form of entertainment to rent. So Zombies Ate My Neighbors only had one plastic shell. It was missing. He was upset. Continue.
yeah. So thanks for that rundown.
Well, if you have someone that's like 16 years old, they might not know what a rental is.
Probably
Isn't
didn't
that?
know what Titanic was.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Well, Titanic's pretty big. It's dumb though, so don't ever watch it. Go on.
Yeah, but it sank already. So
To be fair, it sank in our lifetime. It sank before our lifetime too. But somebody decided to make a dumbass movie about it anyway, and I'm sure that's going to get remade in a couple of years. So no big deal.
unobtainium. So
Avatar 3 / Titanic, featuring what happened to that gem after it got thrown into the ocean, and someone found it and got blue people from it. Continue.
Jesus Christ. So, uh, I was really disappointed because I really wanted to play this game, and it was a friend that I hadn't seen that much. It was actually okay. So it was one of my mom's friends' kids, and we never saw. My mom never spoke to her friend that much, so I never got to see him that much. So yeah, who knows when the next time I was going to see this game was. Um, so I was disappointed, but it was like, all right, we'll catch it on the next go round. So, it seemed like every time we go in and I go there and there would be the box, but there wouldn't be the freaking cartridge behind it. And I was like, oh, come on. Like one of these times it's got to be there. And, um, I kept looking around for other games to like satiate my hunger. I'm like, oh, I could play Mario World for the like 11 millionth time, but
How did
no,
you not own that?
no, I owned it. Like I didn't have anything else I wanted to rent, so
Oh,
I had to stick with the games that I
I
owned.
see. I see.
And I'm like, I can play that for the millionth time, but no, I want to play Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I want to squirt water at zombies and a giant baby and
Mhm.
werewolves and mummies and shit.
And the guys that had the chainsaws that cut through the bushes, yeah, that was not fun. Go on.
Yeah, no, fuck those guys.
Yeah, seriously.
Um, yeah, so the you know, finally get back there we go back there one time, and I think this was at the lull period where I had given up on life, essentially, so I didn't care about what video games were in. And I remember casually passing the case, and I saw the cartridge there, and it was like one of those epiphany moments, like, oh yeah, wait, I wanted this game. And I was like, Mom, please, 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 I swear to God, I won't ask for anything else ever again. I won't even eat food. That way we'll have more for later. And, she goes, okay, so we end up renting the game. And it's not a good sign when you get the game home and you open the case and you take it out and there's an audible rattling sound in the cartridge.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So I go to pop it into the system and it goes to the title screen and then it just like loops the title screen over and over and over again. No matter how many times I took the thing out and put it back in, no matter how many times I blew on the circuit board at the end of it.
Which was the thing to do, even though it never
Was the thing to do to get cartridges to work. Um, we rented a broken copy of Zombies Ate My Neighbors. To which I think I pretty much cursed out as many gods as I could think of at the time for not being able to get me this thing. And, ended up taking it back to Blockbuster and they tried to charge us for returning damaged goods. We explained, no, we rented it that way. It was a whole nightmare. And, long and short of it is that we never got to actually rent Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I eventually played it long after the SNES wasn't the console to get anymore. But even then, I never really owned it. I played it on an emulator. But, to this day, I would love to get my hands on a copy of Zombies Ate My Neighbors for the Super Nintendo. I could actually play one now, but trying to get, working cartridge for it, I guess I could do it, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I'll let it lie.
Yeah, I understand that. You know what's fucked up? Part of me is sitting here thinking to myself, like, oh, please tell me he's going to say he's never played it to this day. Because me, being me, I took it as, this is an opportunity, Lyle. I can easily just be like, hey, Andy, you want to stream this game together?
I would still stream this game together. Don't get me wrong. I would love to play it again. I haven't played it in years.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. That sounds like a blast, but I'm just thinking to myself, like, oh my god, what if we got him to play it for the first time and he played it on stream for the first time? Like, I guess I can edit the part out where you said you have played it. And just, have people thinking that you've never played it before. That'd be funny.
Cheating.
Yeah, that would be cheating. Yeah, it was a great game. I had a couple things happen to me like that. Some were not so bad experiences. Some were not so great experiences. One funny one was similar to yours. I kept going back to the same rental location. Which another question I was going to have for you was what place did you like to rent from? Obviously, it was Blockbuster.
Yeah, we rented from Blockbuster all the time.
Yeah, that's cool. We had another mom and pop shop, whatever you want to call it. Can't remember for the life of me what it was called, but it was just, a rental place that just was not a franchise.
Right.
Right. So anyway, we go in there all the time, and the reason we went to this one specifically that week is because it was the only one that hadn't banned us yet. We had a problem with late fees. So we go into this place and we see this game that me and my brother are just like, whoa, it's a Mario game that we haven't played yet. We have to get this game. And we're going nuts over it, and it's never there. It is never there. Every time we look for it, same problem. They only had one copy of it. It was called Mario is Missing.
Oh, that game.
Yeah. So
ironic that it wasn't there.
Yeah. Good point. I never noticed that. But yeah, it was never there, and the one day that it finally is, much equal to your excitement. Can we get it? Can we get it? Can we get it? We won't eat. That whole thing, which I don't know why all kids think that's going to win their parents over. We won't eat.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
they yell at us, eat your dinner or you're not doing anything. Now we're telling them, we won't eat, don't worry. So anyway, of course, when I told my mom I won't eat, she just laughed. So
I was gonna say it if you weren't. I'm actually glad you brought that up.
yeah, this is back when I still lived with my mom, and we finally got to rent this game. It was there the one time. She got it for us. We rented it. We brought it home. We're so damn excited. Much different than your story. The game worked perfectly fine. The problem was the game was not perfectly fine. The game was awful. You played as Luigi.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was an educational game where you played as Luigi and you just went through time looking for clues based on historical figures to find where Mario was.
Yeah, it was like where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, but
With
with a
Mario.
Mario Brothers franchise face thrown onto it.
It was terrible. Um. So yeah, that was that.
So
That was my bad experience. The good experience I had with renting stuff probably has to be in the PS1 era. I I told the story. I think have I told it on? Jesus Christ, we're only on episode 3, and I can't remember if I told the story here or not. But for Christmas, or not for Christmas, all I wanted was let me start over. We had a PlayStation 1 when I lived with my aunt and uncle, and it was
right.
modified to where I can burn games and play on there. Um, and all I wanted was to just go to Blockbuster so I could rent games and then burn copies of them. So now I own those games and then bring the games back to Blockbuster. And yeah, so first of all, let me tell this story real quick. Prior to us getting the PS1, we had a Nintendo 64. I know I'm jumping all over the place here.
Yeah, seriously.
It's bad. This is why I can't stand this. This has much to do with me saying Link to the Past was the best Zelda game ever. I went to go rent the newest Legend of Zelda game for the Nintendo 64 called Majora's Mask, and I was just like, oh, I can't wait to play this one. This looks so cool. I haven't played Ocarina of Time yet at this point. So I take it home and I'm all excited. I'm like, fuck Ocarina of Time. I'm just going to skip right to Majora's Mask because this is obviously going to be the superior one because it's a sequel and it's newer and it's going to be great. I pop it in. You must use an expansion pack to play this game. What the hell is that? So I think it was called an expansion pack, controller pack, something. I forget what it was called, but it was one of those things you had to plug into the back of the controller. We went all the way back to Blockbuster and said, look, this is supposed to come with this thing. Where is it? Oh, it didn't come with that? No. Huh. We must be out of them. How do you have the game, but not the thing that you need to play the game? Well,
Yeah.
I'm guessing someone rented it and never brought it back. You're guessing. Ugh, that was at Blockbuster. Anyway, so back to the PS1 thing. I was very excited about always renting PS1 games. I got to keep them afterwards and all that. There was one game that eluded me for a while, and when I finally got it, I was very excited, and it was actually a happy ending because it ended up being one of the greatest games I've played of all time. That was Chrono Cross.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I looked at the back of this jewel case for the longest time, and I was just like, "Oh, this game looks epic." And it just kept getting away and away and away, and finally it came in, and I got to play it, and I was just like, "Yeah, this is it. This game is amazing." Same thing with Star Ocean. Star Ocean was another one. I don't know if you ever played that for the PS1.
No.
Oh, what
No, people recommend it, but I never actually got around to playing it.
an incredible game. But
I still
anyway,
have my PS1.
yeah, I seen recently you put something on Facebook, I think, for it.
Yeah, because I still have a stack of old games for it. Even went to a convention 2 weeks ago. There was a video game convention in Runnymede, New Jersey, GamerCon that specialized in a lot of like retro gaming stuff. So picked up some things for PlayStation 1 and 2 on that.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you're interested in knowing what games Andy picked up, be sure to let us know on the Facebook, facebook.com/ uh, facebook.com/ the side splitters. That's THE side splitters. And that is going to just about do it for this week's episode because we're going pretty long here and we have to stop at some point, right?
Right.
That might be a good sign
I
out.
suppose. Jeez.
So yeah, make sure you follow us on Facebook. One other quick thing I wanted to mention though. there's a couple guys out there that they have their own podcasts, and I wanted to bring it up because they're super supportive of us. Andy doesn't even know who the hell they are, which makes it all the greater because they're it's someone that I would like to reach out and network with at some point. These guys are great. They're called Countdown to Geek Town. It's a podcast they do that's pretty much all geek flavor, whether if it's movies. I know they do like a weekly running segment of Game of Thrones overviews when that's current on the air. Um, but they talk comics, they talk movies, they talk video games. It's a great podcast. They're both Southern, so they have that beautiful Southern gentleman thing going on.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, it's awesome. They're super nice guys too. I've talked to them both several times before. Really nice and just very friendly, very engaging. Uh, so yeah, give them a look, a listen, whatever you want to call that.
Listen, yeah. No, I actually, now that you mention it, I totally will.
Yeah, you can just find them on Facebook. Countdown to Geek Town. Search Facebook for that. You'll find them there. Yeah, they are up to episode 20, and their website is countdowntogeektown.com. That is countdown, geektown.com. They're up to episode 20. That's pretty
Nice.
amazing feat, So that's pretty cool. The latest episode is called "How About Them Apples." Oh, one before that is called "I Love Snatch and Stranger Things." Man.
Wow.
Oh, these guys, they're great. So yeah, give them a listen, check them out, on Facebook, whatever, and definitely support the hell out of those guys because they're great. But yeah, so that's our little plug for the week. But that'll do it for this week's edition of Side Splitters. I am Lyle,
And I am forever Andy.
forever and always. We will see you next week. Hey guys, did you miss us already?
I know I did.
I know I did. We forgot to name the episode. We signed out and everything and completely didn't think of it. I knew there was fucking something I was forgetting, but Andy can't read my mind because he doesn't have the bionic nipples he wanted or whatever it was he was talking about. Go back and listen to the episode, although I'm sure you already have because you're already at this point. I'm an idiot. Point of the matter is, we never named this episode, which has been, which has been a running thing that we've been doing. So, what's the name of this episode, Andy?
Oh man.
And you would have thought that the smart thing to do would have been like, oh, they already stopped recording. Why don't they think of an episode name first and then come back and just nail it right out of the park? Like, oh, the name of this episode is blah, 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 blah. No, we didn't. Because we want you guys to know the struggle we go through every week to name these beautiful episodes. So,
Yeah, because I try to pick something that's noteworthy out of the cast itself that would be, a nice description for it. And the first thing I thought of because of the topics that we talked about and that lovely rant that you went on with Titanic, I kind of feel like the name of this one should be My Heart Will Go On.
I was kind of hoping you would include the fiery Latina.
That was going to be my second thing, because other than that, I was going to say Bloody Latin Lover.
Bloody Latin Lover.
Bloody Latin Lover, My Heart Will Go On.
Combine the two.
My Latin Lover Will Go On.
How about Bloody Rosemary?
Ooh.
How about Latina Blood Diamonds?
Love it. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, you get to name one this time.
Latina Blood Diamonds it is. There you have it, folks. This week's edition of Side Splitters, Latina Blood Diamonds. Hope you enjoyed. See you next week.
Bye, guys.